The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki.
Hello, here I am. Welcome to the show. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast. I haven't washed my hair in 4 days since Sunday. It's Wednesday. Seems about right. I'm trying to get all the way to tomorrow. So I just have to wash it before my show, because washing your hair, it's just too much of a process to have to dry it. In order for it to look good, you must dry it, and I don't feel like drying it. And also, I get really depressed at how much hair comes out when I do dry it. So I just like to save that for once, and then I'll have to, and then I can't just like before. So I'm performing on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm not going to be able to like make one of those washes last till the next day. I always have clean hair for the stage. It just gives me a boost of confidence to have like a blowout that I give myself, sadly, in my hotel room. But
that's not sad.
It is sad. It's sad because it's like, because it's just like not, I'm bent over, I'm naked, I'm like second guessing everything. My hair keeps getting tangled into the brush. My hair then tangles into the hair dryer that I have to use from the hotel. And I would say 89% of the time at hotels, the hair dryer sucks and is disgusting, no matter how nice of the hotel you're staying at is. No one can get it right. Even if there is a little nozzle attachment, which I need for a good blowout, most of the time that is missing. It's not even in the pouch. Yeah, it just sucks. And people go, oh, just bring your own hairdryer. I know Emily's going to be like, message me as soon as she hears this. Should we add a hairdryer to your bag of things? I guess, but like, it's just another thing to bring. But I guess that,
I started using a blow dryer and a brush in one, and it's a game changer, I gotta say.
Is that the thing you got me?
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay. I need to use that. I get scared of it because I get scared that my hair is going to get tangled too much around it.
It won't.
And get stuck. And then I'll have to like stop and unwind it because it like gets too tangled.
Your hair will get caught in it the same way it gets caught in a round brush.
Yeah.
But it's so much more convenient than having two tools and having to do like a crazy maneuver.
Oh my God. And just the sad.
Yeah. I get it.
My hair is just so not thick the way it used to be. But you have extensions. How do you blow dry extensions?
The same way I would my hair.
Really?
Yeah.
But like, where are they attached? Like, does it ever pull on the attached part?
No. I mean, I also have like a head of steel at this point. I can't really feel pain in my head. But I just kind of do it gently. And also, I hold the part closer to my scalp and I can, pull the knots out of the rest.
Do the extensions get less dirty than your actual hair? Because I find that when I wear clip-in extensions, I never have to wash them literally ever. Yeah. They never get greasy.
I only wash my hair once a week.
So the only hair that's really getting dirty is the hair that's attached to your scalp.
Exactly.
Naturally.
It's getting
weird?
oily.
So even the end of your hair is dirty because it is attached to your scalp, because even the ends of my fake hair are always clean as a whistle, and then the ends of my real hair will be dirty. So it's all connected to your scalp.
Yeah, but I will say if I go to like a house that's kind of like, has like the smell of cooking, or if we're cooking and stuff, then that stench stays in my hair and I have to wash it.
Oh, I don't even think about that. I never think about how I smell. And that's probably why no one's ever told me I smell good.
Well, that hair is,
porous.
First of all, it's covered in oils, and it really is just kind of like waste. It's like your body. It's like your fingernails that you can cut off.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Yeah, it's like
the
stuff
oil's
that's
healthy, isn't it? It's kind of healthy to keep it on. Otherwise, why would our bodies make it?
But like, think about the difference between finding someone else's hair in your salad as opposed to your own hair. My own hair does not bother me at all. I just be like, ew, gross. But someone else's hair, I'll never eat a salad again. But it's like, who really cares? That's why I literally don't care when I find hair in my food.
Yeah.
I was just speaking like other people before. I don't care when I find hair in my food because I'm like, it's just hair. It's like, it's kind of gross, but it doesn't really ruin it for me. I just take it off and I hope that no one else sees it, because if people see me take off a hair and then keep eating, they go, oh my God. And I'm like, I don't want to wait for them to make a whole other one and like throw this out because I like need to be an entitled bitch right now. And like, I just think that just get over it. Your food has bugs in it. It has dirt. It has spit, it has feces, like your food is
Where
like
are you
contaminated.
There's certain foods that, if it had a hair in it, would be worse than others. Like, I think I wouldn't eat a hair that was in like a soup. Like, if it was in the soup, because I feel like it would get mixed up in the broth. If it was in like
you
a
would
salad,
never be able to tell.
if there was a hair in my soup,
No, like if there's a hair in your soup and you
And
got
then
like
someone
I
took it
saw
out.
it and I took it out and you didn't see me take it out, the soup would not
Yeah.
taste different to you. You would not
No.
die of anything that you would have
No.
died from before. Like it's like it just is.
well,
it's
it's all mental for sure.
Right.
Look, then let's all get over it and let's
What if I
stop
choke on
freaking
the
out
hair?
about germs.
I'm
that's a good
also
point.
less repulsed by a long hair than a short hair. If I find a short hair, it's like
Then
questionable.
it might be a pube.
Maybe
No,
a
see,
pube,
long
might be
hair is
arm
worse
hair.
because it's more bacteria, more oils. And pube, I'm just like, it's not a pube. It's just it's like a short guy's hair. It's so funny that we instantly think black short hair is pube when it could be beard. Most likely it's beard and it's short guy hair. But women don't have short hair, so they don't understand it outside of pubes.
I think there's nothing grosser than when, like, if you go over to someone's house or if you have a guest and you go into the bathroom and there's little short hairs on the bathroom counter or by the
Nothing
sink.
grosser.
There's nothing grosser. I don't even think if they took a shit on the counter, I think I'd be less
Yeah.
grossed out because at least I know they meant it.
Oh God, I just don't. I just don't care about that stuff. I think
Little
that
short hairs.
I
Ugh.
think like stains in a toilet bowl are grosser when you're at
Yeah,
someone's
man,
house.
it sucks when there's a stain. You have a stain, then you don't realize it, and you have guests over, and they're like, "Oh my god,
I
there was a
always
stain
have
in there the
stains.
whole time."
Literally every time someone uses my bathroom, which I hope would be never. I don't like having people over. I don't like company,
Yeah.
but when they do come over, or be like, or I have hair and makeup people come to my room and they're like, "Can I use your bathroom?" I'm like, "They're sorry if there's piss in the toilet. I just don't flush the toilet literally ever."
Yeah, well, you're like
I'm
you're
always
like the
peeing on top of
Flash.
my pee.
I mean, your
Wow.
time spent in the bathroom, I think, is like a record levels. Whether it's showering or pissing. I mean, sometimes
Yeah,
you-
it's almost like I
you-
have
you
trauma in
start.
there.
Sometimes I'll be talking to you,
Yeah,
and you'll start a sentence.
yeah,
You'll go to the bathroom and piss, or even shower.
yeah.
And
And
you'll
then I can
finish
pick
the sentence. You won't even pick it up. The sentence won't be over by the
don't
time you're
know
out
what-
of the bathroom.
Other people are doing in showers. I've discussed it before. I don't know what to do in there. I get everything I need to get done, and I don't know what people are doing. People are just standing in the shower and just thinking. And you're telling me these people struggle to meditate? That's crazy what you're doing right there. Just sitting in the shower with your eyes closed, like you are meditating. You, sir,
feels
are
good.
a master of your own domain. If you are able to, I'm so bored in there. I can't.
Do you do
I want to
hot
get out.
showers or cold showers?
Of course, I do hot showers. I would never do cold showers. Kirsten's always trying to suggest cold showers on the girls' chat, and I'm like, that's the one self-help thing I will literally never get behind. I don't care what it does for me. It's so torturous. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I will never do it. I can't.
No, it's crazy. It
maybe
does
a
shock
cold-
your system. You do get that jolt.
Oh yeah,
That's
You
good.
go, and then the day is, I don't know if that's good for you or what, but I guess
I think it's
helps
very
with
good
your-
for
to
you.
me.
I think
Yeah.
it's like told.
Helps with
It's
your
like
circulation.
definitely. It's like that little chill pill thing. Like it's shocking. It makes you feel a pain that you cannot be distracted by anything else ever. All of your worries seem inconsequential because of the pain of the shower. I'd rather do a plank class. That is going to give me results in my muscle tone and my
Yeah.
body definition and it's definitely excruciating than standing in a cold shower. I can't. I just will not do it. And by the way, we're all going to, whenever my shower is kind of cold and there's not enough hot water, I just always think about what's going to happen with the water wars coming up, where it's like, we will not have, where it's like, if things are going the way I think they're going in this country, like we won't
Yeah.
have hot water.
You
Like
gotta get
I'm just
used to
trying to
those quick
enjoy hot
showers.
showers now. I'll be doing cold plunges the rest of my life when
But
we
you're
are
not
in-
enjoying the hot shower because you're doing it so fast. The true enjoyment of a hot shower is standing in the shower and just letting your day pass by while the warmth takes you over.
No, okay. Well,
You
here's another
slowly,
thing.
essentially, pass away.
But don't you feel like I feel like I'm wasting time, and I feel like I guess some people might think of showers as like, this is my me time. No one can get to me. This is the one time I have for myself. Like no one's going to interrupt me. It's like
their
we all
airplane mode.
culturally know. Yes, to me, an airplane is that. To me,
Yeah.
napping is that. I just sent Anya there's a guy that does these like things on the subway where he's like asks you to have a take Have you seen this where it's like, what's your strong opinion? And then he
Yeah.
either 100% disagrees or 100% agrees.
And if he disagrees,
his
he lights
name.
you on fire.
Yeah, I think that's what happened with
That's
that
what that
one.
guy was.
That
Oh.
was that one homeless woman who got lit on fire. Yeah, she had a strong take about something.
Ugh.
She
Never heard about
thought
showers.
the new season of White Lotus seemed promising or something like that. Anyway, which it does.
Did you saw? There's only one episode out, right?
I love it. I'm
Okay,
so
we'll go
into
back
it.
to that. I mean, I don't
But
wanna
okay,
interrupt
so
your
this
train
guy
of
had a
thought here.
strong take he was doing Cassie David, Larry David's daughter,
Oh, yeah.
who had such a Larry David take.
Yes.
I don't mean to take anything from her by saying that. I think I would be annoyed if I was her, and
Yeah.
every time I said something interesting, people are like, "That's so your dad." I'd be like,
Yeah.
"Well, or it's me." But she was saying that she hates naps, and like people who take naps are losers. And like I felt so called out. She thinks that like you wake up from a nap disoriented. It's like it's just you sleep at night. You're supposed to sleep at night. Like you're just like. Every time you wake up from a nap, you're just like, huh? What? You look stupid. You're a fool. And their naps are for babies and dogs, but not fully grown humans. Like grow up and sleep at
old
night.
people. Once you get to a certain age, you gotta have that nap. You gotta have your afternoon nap. My neighbor who's now 91, I think,
Mm-hmm.
she takes a nap every day from 2:30 to 4. And I think it's honestly been one of the things
It's when
that
you
has-
rob her.
That's when I go in and I take all of her jewels, and
Yeah.
it really is sad because she's running out of jewels, and it's like, how much longer is this going to go on for? I mean,
Well, she threw them all in the ocean at the end of that movie.
Yeah. For the
That
big
is,
one.
yeah. Well, it's okay. I think naps. I love naps, but I also heard what Cassie was saying, and I was like, oh. She's someone who can't nap. Like I don't wake up from naps groggy. I don't wake up being like, who am I? What am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
I wasted my day. I can't get back on. Like I can take a nap for 15 minutes and then go
That's
down
the
and do a
key.
Pilates class right away. I can take a nap for 20 minutes and like feel totally
Lucky.
refreshed and then perform on stage. I don't need like I don't need this like refractory period. I think that's a word that I thought I was using right, but it doesn't feel right.
yeah, refractory
Where I need
is
to like
not, that's
no.
not right at all. In fact, I think refractory is like something to do with like light being changing the
Maybe
the
metaphorically
angle.
it works. Anyway, I don't
Okay.
need that. I don't need that at all. I can just jump
Recovery
from one
period
thing.
is what you meant to say.
But like maybe it makes sense in some way. I can't look it up right now, but I think maybe I'm going to look it up later and prove myself that I was maybe right, but not in a way I thought I was.
Mm.
The
I
other
could
night,
read you the definition if you want.
Of
Yeah,
refractory.
Yeah. Oh, well, Nikki said refractory period. So
Yeah, what does that mean?
Okay.
a period immediately following stimulation during which a nerve or muscle is under-responsive to further stimulation.
That's actually much closer than
like
I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is there another kind of definition that makes
Yeah,
it
what about,
less?
is there an alternate?
less?
Because it's the opposite
it's
of what you
specific.
meant. Because it's,
Okay.
it's
Yes, I do have
stimulus.
one.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
refractory period is usually the recovery phase after orgasm, during which it is physiologically impossible for males to have additional orgasms.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
I think-
kind of where I got it from. I was listening
Yeah.
to something talk about a orgasm, and it was someone mentioned refractory.
That's actually much closer. When you initially said it, I was thinking like light beam
Light.
being like angled differently because it hits a mirror. But what you said,
Yeah.
I think what you said is actually very close to being a proper use of the phrase. I rescind my comment.
Thank you. What
Yeah,
does
it's been
rescind mean?
rescinded.
Just kidding. No, so
Rescind is how you feel after you orgasm.
I don't need I don't need that. So I do agree. And then I sent it to Anya, and Anya said she also doesn't nap. And I have always secretly been really jealous of people, envious of people, I should say. Jealous is when someone has something that you think is going to take from you. So I guess it is jealousy because they are having more time in the day, which is taking from me. So I'll stick with jealous. I'm jealous of people who don't need naps because I feel like napping is a sign of laziness, which is my biggest core fear about myself. And I'm jealous of people who just seem to not need as much rest as I do. And
Well, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, that's the proper amount of time you're supposed to take to nap.
yeah,
That's
but
like,
I'm not doing that.
you're going longer.
How long are your naps?
You're
I mean, yesterday I
indulgent.
took 3 naps because I was depressed, and honestly, napping really helps my depression because a lot of
Sure.
times I think being depressed is just being underslept, and so I slept
Oh
3
my
separate
God.
times yesterday, and each was about 45 minutes, and they were great. And
Yeah.
each time I woke up, I was a little bit happier, and I was like, I told Chris, I think I'm 20% feeling better And now I'm another 20%. And I was finally, by the end of the day, like 75% happier than the start of the day because of that just getting that extra rest and just having that moment where I was like, for me, I was telling Anya, like, naps are airplane mode. They are like they are that time in the shower when no one can get to me. Like, I am napping right now, so it's like my brain is able to shut off. Anya said she can't imagine being able to shut your brain off in the middle of the day, and for me, it is like so easy to do. It's like closing a working laptop. It just everything shuts down. It's not even optional for me to worry when I'm napping. Like it's I don't know what my brain does, but it doesn't allow me to keep thinking about the thing I'm nervous about. It's like it lets me have a vacation from all my worries. Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata. Yeah, I mean, it is. I think also when you're depressed, all the nap rules are thrown out the window. It's like having a cold and saying like, oh, do I have to still go to the gym today when I'm sick? And it's like, no, the rules are changed because you're feeling this way.
Yeah, I think that I don't get colds very often. I got one, a couple weeks ago. And I really learned a lot about myself in it because I was like, I wasn't feeling my body wasn't tired, but I was just, maybe I wasn't registering it because I'm not in touch with my body, but I couldn't go work out. I needed to lay down a lot more. And my brain wasn't wanting me to because my brain was fine and was like, you should go to the classes, you should do the things. And I realized depression is like a brain cold and I need to honor it and lay down and drink fluids and be like gentle with myself, but it's just so hard not to. But do you guys ever nap? Noah, you don't nap.
I can't. I actually envy people who can nap, and this is a household of a napper and a non-napper, and it's been.
Oh, really? Avi's a napper.
Oh, he's got to have a nap at the end of work.
Couple.
Yeah, we're a mixed couple. And if he doesn't, he just can't do anything after work. He's just like a zombie, and it totally revives him. And I just can't. Like, if I were to lay down for a nap, I just want like 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah, for me, it's like a little piece of chocolate after a meal. Like, it's a little treat that it's like at the end of the rainbow, I get a treat. Like, I get to reward myself with a nap, and it's like, and I will say that it never feels like it's enough at the beginning where I'm like, I only have 40 minutes. It always is. Like, it's, don't underestimate that. You should try napping. Have you tried or did you just fail?
I do. And I actually took a nap last week and I regretted it because I woke up even more tired than when I went to sleep.
Well,
and
long
you just needed a fucking real good rest.
Yeah, I just needed like a full sleep, like to turn the daytime into night.
You got a baby.
Yeah,
napping is like not the same for you. I mean, you've got a baby, so it's like you're tired all the time. You're constantly need to be responsible for this thing.
I mean, I was thinking about it. I've only had interrupted sleep for about a year now. I would say since like 7 months of pregnancy, I haven't slept through the whole night, like a complete sleep.
God.
I'm probably losing my mind, you guys.
Yeah.
But are you so tired that you like fall asleep watching TV? Like when I get tired, like how are you staying awake then?
There's just something in my brain that's keeping me up. I do like
instinct.
Yeah, exactly. I can't. I mean, I just pass out like around 10 o'clock at night, and then I wake up like around 11:30, and then again at 3, and then again at 4.
Bitch ever.
I am.
If I didn't sleep, I would just be an awful person to everyone I know and love if I wasn't getting adequate sleep. So ironic that you have to you become a mother and you're supposed to be like full of love and like just like this matriarch of the family that is keeping everything together and just loving everything and being so strong, and like it just being tired weakens you incredibly, and it makes you so unprepared to be that kind of person.
We wonder why so many kids are fucked up and have to go to therapy when it's like your parents for the first several years of your life were exhausted the whole time.
That just does not seem worth it to me. I like sleeping way too much, and I just can't imagine sacrificing that. But I guess you just don't feel it because I hear you guys say you're tired, but you don't ever seem to do anything about it because you just can't.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the difference. Like you can't complain too much or let it in that you're so sleep deprived because what are you going to do about it?
It's kind of
let
like
your baby just starve?
I think you'd understand it's like you and getting sick. I think it could be like a similar comparison where you just like have not let that sickness in. And I just don't let it in. I'm just like, I'm fine, like mind over matter, just
running on
keep on
adrenaline.
going.
It's like when you're prepping for something, and you're going 100 miles an hour, and you just like, there's no time to even think about stopping. And then when it's over, then all of a sudden, your adrenaline drains from your body, and you become a husk zombie-like thing.
Well, it's Tom Brady. I saw him being interviewed about his first Super Bowl. He took a 15-minute nap before he went out to play.
That was
Did you
funny.
see that?
Yeah, that was pre-Super Bowl B-roll or whatever, pre-tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said
That was
he was,
interesting.
and then everyone was like, "What the fuck? How are you able to nap?" And he was like, "Well, because I was too young and dumb to understand that this was important." So I was
I
like,
don't think that's true.
"You think he lied there?"
How would
I
he
kinda
not
felt
know
that.
it's important? How would
Yeah.
he not know his first Super Bowl is
Well,
important? I don't
he
think he
was-
was lying. I just think he doesn't understand why he was able to do that.
He
I
was
think
thrust into this
it was
starting
before
role.
he got anxiety.
Yeah, because when you're that
I
young,
think he understood the important. I don't
I
think
think he
anxiety equals you understand importance of something more. It just means like you're more fucked up.
I think the anxiety was lower because he felt like, oh, I got here my first year as a starter. That means I'm going to get here almost every year. I'll get to the
Oh,
Super
maybe
Bowl.
he's practical about it.
Yeah. So, and then he didn't realize until after, he had that big long gap where he wasn't in the Super Bowl, that he's like, oh my God, this is special and really hard to get to. And so I shouldn't take a nap beforehand. Because,
mean-
he just he listens to Kazi. I mean, that's been his mantra his whole career.
All right, we got to go break. We'll be back after this. Noah shared on Girls Chat today a picture of herself from the weekend where she did her makeup and she went kind of like a little bit harder than usual.
Yeah,
Wanna tell us about that?
Hell yeah.
I went to a birthday party and it was themed. So like the theme was Valentine's Day Fairy. And what I was
That's
telling,
not a theme.
well,
I
it's just
mean-
like my friends.
That's like when Kirsten went to the zoo and she was like, the theme tonight is octopus. And it was like, what are you talking about? They were like,
The
there's
theme
like
is zoo.
there was like a zoo function, like I guess they do
It
like
was like a
jazz at the
gala?
zoo in Kansas City, like a jazz night at the zoo, and everybody
Wow.
goes to the zoo and they drink and they hang out and
play
they walk around
trumpets.
at night and it's like an adult
Keep
kind
the
of thing.
animals awake.
And she was like, yeah, and tonight's theme is octopus, and we were all like, huh, what? What does that even mean? And then she got there, and the theme was indeed octopus. I mean, there were people wearing octopus themed clothing and different like tentacles on everything. So Valentine's Day Fairy was a theme. What are men supposed to do with that?
so it was an all girls gathering. There was no guys.
No voice allowed.
For
Okay.
a birthday or for Valentine's Day, you're saying?
It was for a birthday party. It was
Oh,
like
for a
just a small
birthday party.
gathering. And my friend likes to dress up and stuff, so I was
So
I
it's
just
for
remembered.
her, and she wants to have a theme, and it's her birthday, so everyone's gonna go
Makes sense.
glam up,
Yes.
go to this party, and be a fairy.
And try to nail this theme that it seems very it's open to many different interpretations.
Well, you dress up like Cupid, right?
Yeah,
that is
Cupid's
the
the fairy,
Valentine's Day
right?
fairy.
Oh yeah. Well, isn't he an angel? A cherub?
He's a little fat
a cherub.
baby. Yeah.
Very few people know what he is. They've been trying to figure
Do
it
you
out
know
for
like
years.
that's Valentine, the story of it is like tragic, where it's like there was a Saint Valentine who was like marrying people, and the church didn't like that he was doing this, so they forbade him to and put him to death or something like that.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That's what it comes from.
I heard that
He was a guy that like believed in love and wanted to marry people, and like got shut down for doing it.
So that's why he's got the. I heard that.
I don't
Saint
know. Some
Valentine-
ASM artist was whispering about it, and that's how I got
okay.
that. So who knows if
you
it's real?
can't trust them. You don't know.
Yeah,
what
they were eating a cake and telling me
Yeah.
about the. Actually, I was reading about it because they're all like Chinese, and so
Mm-hmm.
they don't speak English. So they write out their captions, and then the captions are translated, and then you read what they're thinking while they're eating. But it can't possibly be what they're thinking while they're eating because they put in the captions after they've already were editing the video. But it's so interesting because I just watch these people read I watch their thought processes while they're eating. I just can't recommend it enough. So anyway, no, I went to this party.
Okay, so I went to this party and I just exaggerated my makeup.
Yeah.
And what I was trying to say on Girls Chat is that I had this realization that like I've been doing my makeup the same way for so long.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of time for me to retire what I'm doing regularly.
Yeah.
And my question was like, has anyone else done that with their makeup? Changed it up, or your style, like a hat that you keep wearing, or like just certain clothes and stuff, where you just kind of realize like, I think I've outgrown this, or I'm just like
Yes.
looking like I'm trying to dress I guess I just keep imagining like those old talk shows where kids bring their parents on for a makeover because they dress
we
like
are those
too
parents
sexy.
now. Yes,
I feel
because
like
they never
I'm
let
that.
go of like this one style where they learned like they got fitted. They got like some advice at one point. They really looked good. They got a lot of positive affirmation about that kind of like look, and then they're too scared to go away from it.
Right.
We
Or I'm
all
just
do
like
that.
used to it. This is just what I know.
That was
Yeah.
a tough party, though. I mean, I also went to the party, and I was embarrassed because I thought the theme was octopus, and so I was walking around.
Yeah.
and ate tentacles.
Your makeup style has not changed, Brian, through the years. I think
No.
you've been doing the same kind of thing.
You know, sometimes I think about that. Well, it kind of not really, but I watch like videos of like Chapel Roan and stuff, and I'm like, someday they'll be 50, and everything that is cool right now will be not cool / made fun of by whoever's not born yet.
No, I think it will be retro, and people will be doing what she's doing in homage.
I think after long enough it becomes retro, but I think about like there are millennial things right now that
Are lame.
people are TikTok ridicules a lot of the millennial tropes that people, and it's
No
like these
show
are
socks.
like I think about like
Side
the coolest people from my high school and how cool they were back then. How cool, like if I was interviewed by someone when I was like 19 in college, they were like, whatever he thinks is cool. And now you look back on those things, and all these things that if you go to like a millennial party and you're doing millennial things, it's like lame now.
No, this is what I always do. I always try to, whenever I get threatened by something because it's cool or popular, or like I always just realize, don't worry, it'll be taken from them. They won't be cool at some point. They won't be the it girl. And I do it for myself. Like I was just having an interview where the woman was like, this is your year. And I was like, it's going to go away. Like I got offered to do this thing. I was just talking to Chris about this last night. I got offered I was just talking about like I'm just like kind of overworked right now, and I'm like, when you reach a level where people are like finally recognize like you're good to be on shows, they ask you to do all the shows, and all these shows that you've always been wanting to be a regular on start asking, and you're like, well, I can't do a show a week where I have to fly to New York or LA, and I have to also get fitted for it. I have to be in hair and makeup. I also have to come up with like funny stories, do a creative call, practice the stories, write them. Then the day of, you have to like, it's just then you got to post about. It's like it's exhausting to just appear on one show, and also you have to worry about like oversaturating and people getting sick of you. And so we were having this conversation about, well, you're gonna pick and choose like what you're gonna do. You can't do everything anymore, even though I want to. And then as I'm having this conversation, I checked my email, and an offer came up for this show that I love doing, and I've loved doing, and I'm scared to ever say no because it was something that I was so grateful to ever even get asked in the first place. But I'm like, I'm gonna say no because I just don't. I think that I can't. I'm like looking at how much I'm going to be on TV coming up, and I'm like, it's too much, and I got to pull back a little bit.
You got to pull back.
It will. So like everything that's cool will not be at some point, and I'm just trying to, the refractory period. I'm trying to make longer.
You're trying to make it longer where you're
before
recovering
people want
from
to
the
come to
orgasm.
whatever I do again. Yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, in terms of makeup and style, like. No, Emily has injected some like kind of Gen Z energy into my life. In fact, she made me throw out all my granny shoes that were just these like plain white Reeboks that I had literally 20 pairs of. She made me get rid of all of those. And then I saw yesterday a Gen Z girl wearing them, and I sent a screenshot, and I was like, see, Fran's wearing these shoes, or whoever it was. Fran does not sound like a Gen Z's name, but it was. Or maybe it was Maria. It was either Maria or Fran on
No, a lot of Gen Z's people's names are like the names of our grandparents.
Chicks in the Office girls. Yes. Oh yeah, because that's coming back around.
Gertrude is, like
I was like, Pearl's wearing her side part, and so but she was like, no, you're not allowed to do that anymore. And so I've gotten a lot of different new style tips from her, of course, but oftentimes I feel like she goes, no, you are not a millennial, you are Gen Z at heart, you don't look ridiculous when you wear Gen Z things. I think that sometimes I do, and it's hard for me to know my age because I do feel stunted maturity wise. I don't feel like a real adult. And then sometimes I can be really adult, and then I feel like it ages me and it makes me act a little bit different if I dress differently. I don't know.
Where do you think you are?
I mean, I'm solidly this is the interesting thing. I'm stopped at 17. I think everyone, you can kind of pinpoint where they stopped, or something happened to them and they are frozen. I determined this weekend we ran around the van this weekend and told all my openers where they were stopped maturity wise, including Emily and Chris. I don't think we did Chris, but good. Mine's 17, but it appears to be 13. So because I was a late bloomer. So it truly is 17-year-old me is where it kind of clicked, and that's where I am.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like a 13-year-old because I was not acting like a 17-year-old when I was 17. I didn't act like a 17-year-old.
I agree with that. I think that's 17's a good range. It's tough for me because I started at 78. So
you are to me, I would say
I don't think I'm done.
11.
11?
Yeah.
How
overall vibe of like this is how I determine it. I blur my eyes, and the way you walk and the way you stand and the way you like sit. It's like really about almost like the physicality. If you were to like blur your eyes and see that person's skeleton shrunk down, what size, it's almost like when
so this is more of like a physical thing and not a
it's
personality.
like physical, like how people's it's like it's the whole vibe, but I
body
think
language.
an easy way, body language is a good way to determine. Like I'm always kind of just like angsty, like I'm sticking out my hips and I'm crossing my arms, and I think that
that's a great.
And Emily's always kind of like tucking her hair behind her ears, and I'm like, she's 7. She's squarely 7 to 9, like adorable, like and kind of like doing this with her hands, and like her body language isn't the shrunken girl that's ashamed of her body teenager or angry because she doesn't have boobs yet. Like it's still like this kind of like precocious, innocent kind of vibe. It doesn't mean she doesn't have insecurities and she's not a mature woman. But that's what her essence is. It's like she is kind of frozen there. Noah, you are to my assessment. I don't know if this is true.
I have a number in my head.
Okay, yeah, tell me.
Okay, hold on. Let me get my number and then we'll say it at the same time. Noah, okay, I'll go. 3, 2, 1, 4.
9. I said 9. You said 4.
Did you say
4? A meek 4, a very mature 4. So maybe 9, but like still little girl, not angsty, not
So this
not
is definitely
awkward.
all. You're not going to go over like 25 on this.
No, never. You're never going to go 18. This is like where you in your adolescence, like where something kind of traumatic happened and you kind of froze.
When I was 11,
that
that's when when I realized my parents were divorced. That's when like the actual.
Whoa.
Dude, I nailed it.
I thought my parents were together that whole time.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
So
and they weren't.
maybe that's
Oh,
when.
God.
Yeah, so that's when I stopped.
Are you really about? Do you love or not love? Are you very keen to wanting to know what's going on at all times, like knowing the score because you felt left out of the loop about that, and you maybe were like, I would think if I was assessing you, but I don't think this tracks for you that you want to know at all times now, like what's happening so that you don't get blindsided again.
Yeah, no, that's like my whole thing. It's like I hate the number one thing that really hurts me is feeling like I'm left out of the loop. I don't
about
have
information or like a party.
Like here an example is the worst case scenario for me is I know someone's cheating on me and they're not telling me because. It's like this thing is happening,
sense it.
And then they act like everything's fine, or maybe they even act like more positive than normal. And because of this, I think I don't want to pat myself in the back here. I think I am the number one judge of character that in the country and in the continental United States. I can tell if someone's good or bad, and I can sense how someone's feeling like. Instantaneously.
I think I could beat you.
You could beat me in a contest.
I really pride myself on not if they're good or bad, but I think you probably have a better sense of that. But I can tell if someone's uncomfortable.
Oh, sure, uncomfortable. Yeah.
I'm always on alert for that.
That
someone is judging someone around me, like someone, because I grew up with like being kind of embarrassed of my parents. I think at times, not any fault of their own, but like not wanting people to think ill of and just picking up on if someone was going to shit talk my family. and like
Yeah.
noticing if someone thought something I said was weird. Not me. I probably don't pick up on me because I'm like, I'm perfect, but like I'm looking up for other people, judging my friends or someone judging, that kind of thing.
Right. Okay. So no, I'm not. We're not even in the
being
same sport
uncomfortable.
here. That's not.
We shouldn't
because
compete.
I don't care if anyone's uncomfortable at any time. So that's not.
Oh, yeah, because I was gonna say I don't feel like you. I don't think that you're not good at knowing if people are uncomfortable. I think it's more like you don't really care. Whereas I'm like I need everyone to be comfortable at all times. I don't want anyone to ever feel left out or feel like they can't leave if they want to. Like even this weekend we were going to the strip club or like doing karaoke after the shows, and I was like, I just want to let you all know that you are not required to go to this. It will not affect you opening for me in the future or working for me in the future if you do not go to this hang or if you leave early. Like, I just want to make sure everyone knows that kind of stuff because I know I would hate someone to stay somewhere because they were scared of me.
Exactly. I mean, I don't. The reason why I don't care if people are uncomfortable, not because I don't care. Like, oh, if someone's uncomfortable, I just like whatever. It's because I believe that everybody is in charge of themselves.
No,
and
that's
if you're
healthy.
uncomfortable, it's your responsibility to do something to make yourself not uncomfortable.
No,
anymore.
it is not. It is my responsibility, Brian. It is my responsibility to make everyone comfortable because people do not stand up for themselves. So it is up to me as an Al-Anon to.
That's right.
If someone
As
doesn't
an
like their
Al-Anon,
food, I
as a
need to let
vegan.
them know, hey, I'll say something to the waiter about this food because I know you're a pussy and I want you to actually enjoy your meal and I don't want you to have to like, I will take the hair out of your food and demand that you eat it. But if you still don't want to eat it, I will be the one to tell the waiter she doesn't want to eat this. And like, I will be the one to tell the pilot, hey, we have someone on the plane that is uncomfortable. And sometimes the person probably doesn't want me to do that, but I take it upon myself because I feel like I'm always like, I think that's sometimes also why people are like, how do you do these roasts? How do you do stand up? How do you speak up? And it's from doing that of being like, I'm going to speak when other people are too scared to and then they're just going to tough it out and white knuckle it and be uncomfortable because they don't want to ask for another chair, even though this chair hurts and there is a chair across the room, but that would draw too much attention to themselves. I'll be the one to get them that chair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nikki's really good about that. As someone who has social anxiety, Nikki's like always been so cool about that. And you're really the first person to kind of like give someone an out. Yes, an out. And yeah, like now I will do that too. And I think it's actually very helpful, especially in a setting where you're just kind of like getting to know people and until you really, really know how they are.
Yeah, just give people like. I mean, they don't have to trust you, but being able to say to someone like, it won't affect your standing with me if you go to this or not, or if you need to leave this early, or if you don't write back to this, like I'll tell Emily, like, hey, can you give me an answer on this? I'm like, you don't need to do this tonight. Like, it will not affect my life or yours, whether you respond to me. Just giving people a little bit of outs, whether they take it or not. I mean, but back to So Noah, where was your core trauma?
So I thought.
By the way, Noah.
Noah, what damaged you the most in your life that you've maybe never spoken about? And are you ready to do it right now?
Several things, but I thought the most traumatic was at age 7 when I moved to this country and my parents didn't really explain what was happening. But now that I'm thinking about it, I think you're probably right that it was younger because I didn't know this at all until recently, but my dad would leave for like long periods of time. And again, like my parents didn't explain anything. They didn't they didn't think that kids had anxiety. Like that was not even a thought in their minds.
Yeah.
You just go through life, right? And now that I'm thinking about it, you probably are right. It's probably even before 7. And
I remember
that's why I have nervous,
too.
Anxious attachment.
About like, I remember being left with my Aunt Lynn, who was a severe alcoholic. And even I knew, like, this is very irresponsible. And they don't know that I've got this and I'll be okay because I'm like a smart kid. But if I were a parent, I would not be leaving me with, and thank God my sister has me because she is too young to be in this environment and I'll protect her from it. But I remember clocking, like, if I ever have kids, I'm going to let them know, like, I'll be back at this time. This is where I'm going to just give them more information than I was given. And maybe I'm talking too much about this because I just got done with an interview about like my comedy process. And so I'm like a little bit in that mindset, but of like this woman is asking me about like why I'm motivated to talk about the things I am, and it's just like I just want people to have all the information because I was not given that as a child, and I think children deserve to be given all the details that they want and not be kept in the dark about things. And I think people just think they're like dogs, like they don't have the capability to understand so much, so let's just give them less. Where I was like, where are we going? How long is it going to take there? Why is this car going so fast? Why do we change lanes so much? Why are we like, I wanted all the information, I wasn't given it. So I think that's why now I just I try to, like, in my stand-up, give all the information about things that are kind of like shielded from me as a kid.
But it's a double-edged sword as a parent, because you could tell your child all this information. You could say, I'm going to be home at 4 specifically. And then if you're home at 4:15, that's a betrayal.
Well, no, you say around 4. Now, give or take a little
what
bit.
If you're home what if you got stuck in traffic and you're home at 5:30? And they're
or
like,
you just tell them you're coming back. Just tell them
No,
you're coming
I don't like
back.
that. I will be back. I don't like when people say, when I see on like movies and stuff where the parent goes, I will never leave you. I will always come back. Because what if you don't? That kid's fucked up and will never trust the rest of their life. Like, nothing's guaranteed. I don't even know what you're supposed to say, but I just find that every time I hear that, I'm always like, she's gonna die. Like, I just like, I don't like that.
In a movie, yeah. I mean, whenever that happens, I knock on wood in real life. Like, if even someone says, I'll see you later, I'll add, hopefully, just to, cover my bases.
Yeah.
And then I'll knock on wood, and then I'll do 3 circles.
Speaking of White Lotus, first episode, did you catch when the girl?
Wait, I didn't watch it yet.
It's not a spoiler, really.
Well, no, it's less of a spoiler and more like I'm not going to be able to respond to you in an educated way.
Have you watched it, Noah?
No.
Here's what I'll say about it. So I'll just talk to 2 people that haven't seen it. I love the White Lotus. Thank you so much to Mike White for creating this fucked up show that is like a murder mystery, just with a cast of characters that has people coming in and out. You recognize characters. They don't always get all brought back. It's always in a different setting. It is a gift that we have gotten the White Lotus. It is a cultural gift because also you don't get them all dumped at the same time. They're parsed out week by week, like old time TV. It reminds me, I can place myself with, White Lotus season 1, White Lotus season 2. It was like these benchmarks of the COVID where we were all like kind of, it was a timeline. It wasn't just one weekend where you binge them all. At least for me, I watched through like weeks. Like, this is going to be spring, summer 2025 for me is White Lotus 3. And it's going to be like a moment. And thank you, Mike White, for putting in premises within these characters and the plot that are so fucked up, and you're like, there's no way he's going here with this. Like, there is some stuff this season that is a brewing that I'm like, no one touches this. Pornhub touches this. No one else does. Like, it's getting in, like, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. There's a scene with 2 brothers that I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? This is so weird. And it is awesome because it is so weird. It's so fucked up that, like, I would think most studio executives would be like, we're not allowing this storyline. Like, what is going on here? But it's happening and it's crazy and it's something like I've never seen before in something. And I just love all the characters. I just love this. It's like reading a book. I love White Lotus, and I always forget how much I love it in the interim. And then the refractory period's over, and I am ready to come again. Like, I am so fucking pumped for White Lotus. It is giving me a joie de vivre. It is like, it's honestly, I'm looking so forward to every Sunday now. Like, thank you so much for giving us fucking destination television again.
You've been missing this since the session ended.
That's what you guys were saying.
And like destination in the sense that I want to go to fucking Thailand now. And am I obsessed with the song that is playing in the first episode of White Lotus that I heard a million times because our HBO was lagging? So we had to keep going. When you like buffer it and you keep going back and you have to watch the same scene over and over? There is this song by a group. I don't, it was written in Thai. Like the language, like I can't even tell you what the name of the song is, but it is so good. And I posted on my story the other day. Let me just pull it up. It's on my Spotify right now. I'm not gonna play it, but
White Lotus is it's amazing, and as you know, it's so incredibly well written. And
it is.
I mean, the writing is amazing. The characters are amazing. Mike White is one of the best writers
ever
alive. Yeah, and It really is great.
I want to meet
Thank
him
God there
so
are
badly.
things like that. Yeah. And he wrote School of Rock.
I know.
Isn't
He
that
also
crazy?
wrote Enlightened with Laura
Yeah.
Dern, which was such a weird, cool show. He also is a vegan, and I just saw a quote from him the other day that was like, I don't know, one day I just realized my dog kind of looked like a pig, and I was just like, I can't eat pigs again. And I'm just like, fuck yes, Mike White makes it so simple. He just is, I just want to shake his hand someday. He just is. He's someone that it's fun. It's fun to realize there's someone you haven't met yet that you probably will get to cross paths with, that you get to like kind of fangirl out over. And he's one of those people that I'm just realizing like has brought me so much joy. Do you know that he's on Survivor?
No.
He was like such a fan of the show Survivor that he got cast on it, because sometimes they cast
When?
celebrity fans. I think a couple seasons ago. And I think he was really good at it. I really want to go back and watch his season because I'm just fascinated by him. He's so cool. But there is in the White Lotus episode 1. Everyone needs to watch this show. It's not really an option, and I don't care if you're not watching it and you feel left out. You just need to get on board. You need to find someone with an HBO password to share it with you and watch together. But there is a girls' trip that's going on, and it's very interesting because one of the girls is a famous actress, and the other two are like, it's kind of giving girls' chat. But like a dysfunctional girls chat, because there's 3 girls. I wish there were more, because I think they could do more interesting things with dynamics, but they have too many characters on the show. I understand why there are not more. But one of them's a famous actress. One of them is married to a billionaire. And one of them is, we don't know what's going on with her, but they keep like the 2 girls that are like killing it, keep complimenting each other. And then they'll turn to the 3rd girl and go, and your life is so hard.
Yeah. I saw that meme.
It's so funny.
Everything you do is so hard.
Everything you do is so hard. And your daughter, she's just really growing up. Like they just keep tossing her these nothing things.
She gets older every day. Incredible, understated jokes.
Yeah,
Character driven.
There's going to be some really funny, fun things to play out. And Parker Posey, I love her so much. I saw her talking on a red carpet, and I was just so intrigued by the way she talks and like what an artist she is in terms of like, I don't know. I don't always respect the art of acting. No offense to actors. I just don't care most of the time. It just feels like, okay, good job. But people like Ray Fiennes make me go, whoa, that's acting. And then people like Parker fucking Posey blow my mind. And I know I'm a little bit like, I don't know. It's like with napping. Some people get it. Some people don't. Acting doesn't blow me away most of the time. But Parker Posey is so nuanced and so incredible. And I went back and I downloaded or I rented Best in Show just so I could watch her. And she is spectacular. She is so good on Best in Show. And she was so young. And she just is playing this character who works at the Dairy Queen. And she just plays this small town girl who's kind of like jaded, but like lost so well. She is her. Sorry, not Best in Show. Waiting for Guffman.
Oh, that's one
Which
of your
used to be
favorite
my
movies,
favorite
right?
movie in high school, and I forgot why. And so I went back and rented it, and I was reminded it's a little bit like, comedies age in a way that you're like, oh, this is a little bit slower than I'm used to now. Like I need things a little bit
Comedy
more
was slow.
pacier.
Well, I think you appreciate acting more. Like when you really can appreciate acting is when you're watching an okay to good movie, and people are acting in it well, and then there's one person who's not good at acting.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I was watching a movie this weekend, and I'm not gonna say which one, but because this person was so bad in it, it was like unbelievable. And every time this person had a scene, me and my wife, we would just start laughing. It was so bad. It was like,
Wait,
how is it possible they made it through all of these levels to get to here, to be doing a scene with this person who is one of the most famous, best actors of all
Was this
time?
someone we know?
No, no one knows this person.
Oh, really?
How did this
Okay, that's
happen?
nice of you to do that then, because they have an upcoming career.
Maybe. I mean, it's just
I
wild.
had to turn
'cause
off
I
the
know
movie
there's
recently because the acting was. I mean, I was I didn't even want to see the movie. I read the book, and then I was like, I don't know. Like, I heard about the movie, and I go, I don't even really want to see this because it just. I heard that like some of the parts of the book didn't make it, and I was like, those are my favorite parts. So I was like, I don't even want to see it. Then there was a lot of news about this movie, and I was like, okay, now I just want to like see what was the movie behind this thing. And I was very intrigued to watch it, and I literally had to turn it off in the first scene because the acting was making me feel so awkward.
Yeah.
And I cannot believe the other story about this movie is taking over the story, what should be being talked about, which is the acting is unwatchable. And I am not even that good of an actress. And I am so sorry, but I was like, what is going on here? Maybe I have to stick it out. Maybe
it's like an abusive relationship. Sometimes you just got to stick it out and you sit with it longer than you should.
But I also don't know that I am good at telling what good acting is. I don't think I'm like someone who should be a critic, even though I was voted most likely to be Siskel and Ebert in 8th grade. Don't you ever forget it. Final thought.
Well, the other thing, just to close the loop on this, sorry to interrupt the final
Please
thought.
Close the loop.
Is that sometimes it happens in reverse, where you're watching a movie and everyone in it is bad at acting except one
and then
person.
Someone comes. Yeah.
And you're like, and then even though they're the good actor, they seem out of place because they're acting well and in a world where everyone's acting poorly. And this happened in the last Jurassic Park movie, Jurassic World, I don't know, on Knife's Edge or whatever it was called, that came out a few years ago.
Yeah.
The acting in it was horrible, except for Laura Dern, who was so good that she seemed
so
like
good.
she was a bad actor.
Oh, that's
like when the dinosaurs would come and they'd be attacking people, all the actors were like, "Oh no, a dinosaur!" And then she'd be like screaming like someone was going to eat her.
Oh my god!
And it made her seem like she was bad,
when
even though she's
someone's
acting
able
right.
to scream like a really traumatic thing is happening and nail it, I'll never ever forget Gwyneth Paltrow in the movie Bounce finding out her husband died in a plane crash, and it's just a scene shot through a window, and her collapsing and wailing is so fucking real.
Yeah.
And I just remember being like, that is acting. Also,
Yes.
Romeo and Juliet, when Juliet, Claire Danes, realizes that Leo is dead. Sorry, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Something that has been out for centuries.
Yeah. Sorry, I haven't read Romeo and Juliet. How long has that been out?
So yeah, since I mean, I would guess. Let me just show you how dumb I am. Let me show you how. Let's guess how dumb I am. I am guessing Shakespeare was. Okay, my life is riding on this, okay? Let me just pretend there's a fucking gun to my head, and if I don't get it within 100 years, I'm going to get shot. Okay, here we go.
Okay, 100 years?
Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay, I am going to guess 1659.
Not bad.
Not bad.
You're almost 100 years off.
No!
But you're
Is it within 100 years, though?
You're within.
Yeah,
you didn't
almost,
get shot in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're within.
Yeah.
I think Romeo and Juliet was...
To me, that's a huge, that's a success. I got it right. Wait,
Yeah,
what
you
is
got it
it?
right.
1730?
30. The late, 1590s.
Fuck, I was going to say 1490. Like, I was going to say around Columbus sailed the ocean blue, and then I went, okay. 1659. Okay, it was around 15 what?
In the 1590s, I think he wrote most of this stuff.
Did you know that off the top?
I knew, I'm guessing it's around.
Wait, why do you know that? How did you know that? Do you remember when you learned that?
When did I learn
I mean, I definitely learned it, but I usually remember when I cement knowledge. And right now is when I'm cementing Shakespeare's 1590s.
Let me see. When was Romeo and Juliet written?
They said between 1591 to 1597.
That's a really long time.
I know, isn't that crazy?
They didn't know shit. They don't even know if he's the one who wrote this shit.
Okay, I was within 65 years. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm really proud of myself.
You got in it. You did it. You did. You didn't get shot in the head.
Fucking God, because that could have been really embarrassing.
Nikki avoids getting shot in the head. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's good. I avoid it every day living in the neighborhood.
We all do.
What I was going to say, can I just recommend a couple other things to watch?
Final thought.
Yeah. The new Gabby Petito documentary about that murder is pretty good. They do it in 3 semi-short episodes. I don't feel like they were all hour long. They might be, but Netflix is a way of kind of really stretching out the details. That one really held my attention. It's well done. Very tragic. But has tons of footage because she took a lot of footage, and
she was an influencer.
Yeah, and I also want her best friend on the show that is seen throughout it, who she met on Bumble when she moved to Florida because that idiot pulled her away from her family and moved her to Florida, and then she was looking for friends, so she went on Bumble and found a best friend. That girl should be on White Lotus. She is a fascinating character. I want her to be famous. She is so cool, and she seems like she was cast. She's so good. So that is I watched all 3 episodes last night. That was great. And then I'm obsessed with a new comedian. He's not a new comedian, but I'm obsessed. There's a comedian I'm obsessed with, and I can't stop watching clips. And I think I've consumed every single thing he's put out in his 10-year YouTube career within a couple of days. And that comedian is Chris Fleming. I've known about him for a while.
Yes,
but
he's awesome.
Thank you
literally
for obsessed. It's really hard for me to laugh out loud at things, and I am constantly cackling in bed listening to his stuff. I crave every new clip that comes up. One just came up yesterday about he's talking about he has a sixth sense for when a restaurant is owned by brothers.
Yes.
Because there's always a brother that goes to Austin is people love breakfast burritos. I can do that side of things. You do the menus. It's always these, you have a passion for marketing. And it's and then he just goes, what is going on with brothers? And he just talks about the relationship of brothers, the tone that they have with each other is this, you just have to watch it. Chris Fleming with 1 M for Chris Fleming. He is, I was telling Chris, I'm I found my new favorite comedian. I wrote Chris and I'm you are literally my favorite comedian that has ever been. You're on my Mount Rushmore. I'm obsessed. I'm going to try to go see him at Largo coming up. It's just fun to find someone new that you're obsessed with. I love being obsessed with artists. As everyone knows, and he's my new obsession. He is so fucking funny. He writes in such a specific way. Mm-hmm. He is a poet.
He has great style.
Great style, but I love that it's not the joke. You know what I mean?
Right.
He dresses he dresses disco 70s, kind of almost feminine sometimes. He's
He's
really
also a rock star, a 70s rock star.
Yeah. Iggy who's what is David Bowie's alter ego?
Ziggy Stardust.
Yeah, it's kind of like onesies, sequined onesies. He just has impeccable style, but it's not the joke. He just is who he is, and he's not making jokes about his outfit. You would initially see him and be oh, this guy is that's the joke, right? But it isn't. That's just who he is at his core. He's a just true artist, and he even talks shit. He didn't talk shit, but he definitely made fun of me in one of his specials, and this was my first time ever even hearing about him. Someone was
dropped?
Yeah, he was someone goes oh, Kirsten was that you are mentioned in Chris Fleming's newest special. It's on Peacock right now. I forget what it's called, but he there's a sketch at the beginning where that is the one special I haven't seen of his. I'm kind of leaving some things because I literally started watching him when I was on my travel day last week on Wednesday, and it took so long to get across the country. I watched literally 4 hours of his stuff, and I keep parsing it out now. But
his new special is called Hell.
Okay, that's the special where at the beginning there's a sketch, and I kind of watched it out of context because people were just sending me the clip. But from what I remember, there's something that's going on where he can't perform, and the venue is well, we still have this venue rented. We got to put on some kind of show here. And then his agent is on the phone, and she goes, okay, maybe we can do Nikki Glaser special. I think she's ready to tape 2 in the Pink. But I deserve it because I have talked a lot about sex, and it's you could whittle down my special to just 2 in the Pink for sure. And I actually appreciated it. But he then I saw him
more
on
than about just the vagina. I mean, you also talk about ass stuff.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm so much more than that, and the taint, everything in between.
Yeah.
And I'm going up, and I'm doing the clit now. And
you've moved up the clit. You've expanded your range. It's really what it is.
So yeah, Fupa is my next special, so that'll be exciting.
We never thought you'd get to Fupa, but it's amazing to see how much you've grown.
It's my FUBU. It's for me by me.
Foop is dead anyway. All right. That came and
it's
went.
not dead. No, I was packing one today. Sometimes, like when you're about to be on your period, that area just like inflates to get ready to carry a baby that you are not going to carry, and then your body punishes you with cramps for not giving Jesus another son or whatever. So anyway, Chris Fleming, I didn't even care. Like, make fun of me all you want because he makes fun of everyone. And I kind of like it. He's kind of like trolling everyone because he's just telling the truth. He's making observations. He's not, I appreciate someone who's not scared to call out when something's lame or when someone's doing something that's kind of, mockable. And he's not ever trying to climb by like not mentioning certain people's names. Like everyone is fair to get called out. And if I want, in my artists, I want someone who is fearless in that way. And if that puts me in the line of fire, so fucking be it. Like, I still love him. And then it also made me go, hey, I don't want to be that person that a joke can be made like that about. Like, I need to be better. And maybe, and this was already something that I wanted to do prior to hearing that joke. But like, I hope that joke doesn't work in years to come. And I don't think it would work now for me. My act is not really about sex anymore. But he is just incredible. And I just think everyone should follow him. And I don't know why he isn't like the biggest comedian working today. Like he has a presence on stage that is reminiscent of like, I don't know, just like an arena comic. Like he's incredible and such a great writer. You've known about him for a while, Brian?
This is a tale. I mean, I don't know him personally, but this is a tale as old as time. There's a reason why he's not the most famous comic. Is because the public is too dumb to.
I would agree.
For a comic like him to be the most famous is impossible.
But no. I would not listen. I don't know that he has aspirations to be the most famous, and that he wouldn't be. I don't think he'd be offended if we were to say that he's just out of reach for some people. But I don't know him. But I will say that I think I don't know. He definitely is more intellectual than me. I have to look up words all the time that he uses. I learned the word Spoonerism the other day, which was so funny because he was just saying that. Who did he say? He was saying something about Wait, Don't Tell Me, that show on NPR. How like these people are killing with these boomers, and these boomers are losing their minds. Have you ever heard that show? The roof is blown off the place because they're laughing so hard at Spoonerisms, and I didn't know what it was, so I looked it up. And a Spoonerism is like Nikki Glaser. It's just changing the first part of like switching the consonants. Yeah, kind of.
It's like some just kind of
like
type thing like that.
Yeah. What's the one where you get pulled over and you're like, I wasn't. You call the officer something else. What is it? Do you know what I'm saying?
No.
What's the problem? I forget. There's this. Like it just proves the person's drunk because they say something instead of officer.
What's the officer problem?
Yes, thank you. I think that could be, maybe that's not Spoonerism, but like it just, I looked up a ton of words that he taught me and I didn't retain most of them.
I've never heard of Spoonerism.
I like someone who's like challenging me to go, and I have to constantly rewind to be like, I missed that because it was so quick. Like it feels like a 30 Rock. It feels like Veep. Like it feels like I'm being challenged to be smarter. It's like, it's really.
I had to retrain myself to not do a Spoonerism, in fact, because for my whole life I had trouble saying coin toss. I would say toin toss all the time.
Dear.
That's like what my brain. And so it took me like a couple of years of saying that very slowly in order to say coin toss correctly.
It's like me with take for granted. I always want to say granite because I know one of them's wrong and I want to say the right one, and I always choose the wrong one. Sometimes smart people do dumb things. But anyway, check out those things.
I have a list of Spoonerisms, and I will read you the Spoonerism, and you tell me what the actual thing is.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, here I am. Belly jeans.
Belly jeans?
Jeans.
You were saying I am belly jeans?
No, forget about I am. That was me just saying I am.
Jelly beans.
Jelly beans, that's correct.
Well, yeah, these aren't going to be hard, Brian, because I'm just going to switch the first letter.
Sometimes they're hard.
Okay. Try to stump me.
A well-boiled icicle.
Okay.
I don't even know what this is. It doesn't tell me the answer.
Boiled bicycle.
A well-boiled icicle.
Oh, a well-oiled bicycle.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, see, it's almost like
Okay, these are
Wheel
fun.
of Fortune. Yeah, see, I told you it'd be fun.
Okay, you're right.
I could come up with fun things on occasion. But no, they're
All right.
he told us a lack of pies.
Pack of lies.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That's good.
Very good.
Fuck,
Yeah.
these are harder. Oh,
Yeah.
what confidence I spoke with that this was going to be a lame game. This is fun.
Is the bean dizzy? This one's impossible. This
Is the dean busy?
Yeah, is the dean busy? 'Cause that's not even a real thing. I mean, who's
All
saying
right.
that? Is the dean
We gotta
busy?
go.
Yeah.
A person that needs to go and talk to the dean about, some hijinks that are going on campus because we got to
That's
get
right.
this frat thrown out. That's the only time I ever see the dean is when like a frat on campus is in trouble, right?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Or in a Bud Light Shane Gillis commercial.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I do like that commercial where they count down. They're like, "Oh, we can't drink on camera."
Yeah. No. All the Bud Light Shane Gillis commercials have been great.
Yeah. You know what other one I really love is the one with oh God, George Kittle. Have you seen that?
Yes.
And then
yes.
at the very end, the guy goes, "Thanks, George Kittle," and he goes, "No, call me George Kittle."
Yeah. Classic.
That's good. That's good. All right, we're gonna go. Gur wanna go. Whoa. Gur
Yeah.
wanna whoa.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening to the podcast. I hope we learned a lot today. We will be back next week. I'll be in Boston all week. The only show that is not sold out of my 6 Boston shows is Sunday night, 9:30. So get on that if you're in the Boston area. That one is going to be a triumphant one because it will be the end of the run. I will have a newfound energy. I will be as practiced as I possibly could be. I think that's going to be the best show of the week. And there's still tickets available if you want to come see me at the Wang Theater, NikkiGlaser.com. So many tour dates being added. So many, you know where to find it. NikkiGlaser.com. Thank you for listening. We will see you next week on the show. Don't be good. Bye.